Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Today is the spectacular day, September 11th. Where were you in 2001? I was in Florida working with Austin Gary Cooper. We were doing an expatriation repatriation process that took you from being a U.S. citizen slave to being an American citizen. And we got a frantic phone call from Gary's mother saying, "Quick, turn on the TV. They're bombing the center." Wow. And when you do your research, you'll find out that it was an inside job, which is unfortunate. But anyway, enough of that. We'll be underway and have some people join us very shortly, and we're going to be getting started at the top of the hour. So thank you for joining us. We're going to be spending most of the time today on employee gold and how to properly fill it out. Finally figured it out after doing the first 9 new submissions, and I don't think I made any mistakes, but that just wasn't clear enough. So anyway, so we're getting some people joining us now. Thank you so much for being here with me today. We'll be underway in just 1 minute. It has been very humid here. Wow. I'm sitting in a pool of perspiration for the nation. Talking heads. Just about ready. All right, well, let's get underway. First of all, let's do some exciting news updates. Internationally, if you live in the United States, last evening at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, the President Abomination came on and announced what he was going to do with ISIL, better known as ISIS. My goodness, we're getting a strobe light effect. That's interesting. Let's see if we can fix that. All right. Let's try that. Okay. All right. So anyway, during that period of time, he announced that the Iraqi government has newly seated a new prime minister and some new officials in what they call the Council of Ministers. And that's history in the making. Iraq is going to be a new world power, and the dinar will be revaluing. When, nobody knows, but just know that it's going to happen because they've come this far. So that's pretty exciting. And I think it'll make major headway towards the global revaluation of a lot of currencies and the global currency reset. The Treasury Reserve notes are supposed to be in circulation, so you might want to go to your bank and ask for a new $100 bill from the U.S. Treasury, not from the Federal Reserve. See if you can get a look at one. That's if you've got enough money to get a $100 bill going. Okay, so that's important historical news. On our home front, I talked with Mr. B 2 days ago, and he said 2 of the 3 properties are in hand. The California property was delayed because it turns out it had 2 titles, and they wanted to close them at the same time, so that's closing probably today or tomorrow. The Oregon property is closed. Funding is now available, and I guess he'll be taking that fund to the trader. And the 700 acres in Idaho is the next property that will be completed, and that's well on its way. Right at Bright Star Work Center, Eddie's doing a phenomenal job. He was out banging on doors the last couple of days, and he had talked to some people that he had met about a month ago, went back to them, and he's got a $180,000 property that the contract should be completed. I didn't get a chance to talk to him today because he's probably wrapping it up. And then we have another gentleman that speaks Spanish only that's bringing in 3 or 4 properties to the tune of about $500,000. And then the 4-story office building, we had a challenge that the real estate agent that we're working with only sent the addendum 2 and not the full contract. So that delayed that, but that's been straightened out, and it looks like they're going to be moving forward, and hopefully we'll see that one come through for us next week. That's in the, I think, 2.5 million. And then the gentleman that introduced Eddie to these people, he's going to be putting in his office building. So we're making really great headway in the real estate addendum 1 and addendum 2 protocols. So that's very, very exciting. And we have some members that are scurrying about, trying to do the same thing, and some are having success and others are kind of stymied. And so we just know that we've got to get out there and talk to people. Amazing things are happening in the digital currency world. eBay has made an announcement that their division called PayPal is now going to accept Bitcoin. And boys and girls, this is huge. Zcash can be exchanged for Bitcoin. They double their money. Actually, they'll end up tripling their money. So you can buy a Bitcoin for $500, turn it into $1,000, turn it into $3,000. So just doing that is a way to make money. Better than 4x any day of the week. So pretty exciting things are happening in that arena. We have HSBC in Mexico and Chase in Mexico. They have, I don't know whether it's under their name or a bank that they own in Mexico, both moving forward on DF3 documents. I don't really have a total update other than supposedly it's moving along. Whether or not they'll ever fulfill, you know, let's face it, it's been since last November that HSBC was supposed to do what they're supposed to do. But we don't need the banks. Commerce doesn't require banks. If you look at the definition of commerce, banks are not involved. And so that's where you and I have to take the lead and teach other businesses how to trade back and forth with Zcash and chips and other digital currencies, of course. And then when they ultimately need to move their Zcash into USD bank deposit funds, then they can bring their property forward and use addendum 1 or addendum 2, create their little cash pool, and then they can ultimately exchange the Zcash for all their employees. So they can actually pay their employees in Zcash, and the employees can trade, and we'll obviously see stores and other facilities coming on board. If we go to the overview, let me see if I can find the link here. I'm going to go to share screens. Start screen share. We'll go to Financial Hope. And we'll hit the news section, 2014 news. Now you may not be seeing this, but I'm just going to be going to the link. And I'll just read it and I'll come back. eBay's PayPal unit to start accepting Bitcoin payments. eBay's PayPal service will start accepting Bitcoins, opening up the world's second biggest internet payment network to virtual currency transactions. We're announcing PayPal's first foray into Bitcoin, Bill Reddy, the chief of eBay's Braintree unit. And at TechCrunch's Disrupt SF conference yesterday, over the coming months, we'll allow our merchants to accept Bitcoin. On the consumer side, it will be a sleek experience. eBay's, as the world's biggest web marketplace and operator of global payment service, is the most significant business to date that's embraced Bitcoin. The move could potentially enable PayPal's 152 million registered accounts to transact using virtual currency, spurring wider use and acceptance of Bitcoin, according to Gil Luria, an analyst with Wedbush Securities. PayPal integrating Bitcoin into Braintree is very substantial development, Luria said. Not only will it make it possible for some of the fast-growing apps to integrate Bitcoin seamlessly, it opens the door for PayPal to integrate Bitcoin into its main wallet functionality. If that happens, millions of retailers will de facto be accepting Bitcoin overnight. Okay. Braintree providers payments capabilities of websites and mobile apps such as mobile car booking service, Uber Technologies, Airbnb, B&B, and short-term home rental services for travels. Amazing things, goods and services. Tens of thousands of PayPal merchants using Braintree will accept Bitcoin. So now what we need to let all these retailers know is that they can use our system for clearing Bitcoin and obviously integrate Zcash. And when they figure out that they can use Zcash and double their money, I think that we'll start to see that movement in our direction as well. Pretty darn exciting stuff. So hopefully you saw that. If not, it's on the website. Go take a look at it. I'm going to go and come back here, and we'll stop that. And I'm going to bring each slide up as we go. Hopefully it'll record properly this time. And so the next thing I want to move into now is this next document. This is from Simon Black. 20% of this entire industry just lost their jobs. Time to buy. And again, I don't think this one's on the website, but I'll put it up there. Jim Rogers is easily one of the smartest and most successful investors I know. And one of his seemingly endless pearls of wisdom about investing is that sometimes the best thing to do is absolutely nothing. Sit on the sidelines and wait until opportunity is so obvious the money is just lying there in the corner waiting to be picked up. You don't really become successful in investing or otherwise in life by doing what everybody else does. Following the herd is a surefire way to mediocrity. It's important to keep this in mind as the stock markets keep on hitting new all-time highs almost on cue, week in, week out. It's perverse what investing in public markets has largely become. Gambling, whether stock prices will go up or down based on what the cabal of unelected central bankers is going to do, say, or merely whisper. That's why fundamentals don't seem to matter anymore when it comes to stock prices. If the GDP growth slows down or even collapses, the stock market goes up because investors are predicting lower interest rates. How can they be any lower? Yet if the GDP goes up, investors will hail, the economy is coming back, and send stocks even higher. Euphoria is so painfully obvious. Even the Bank of the International Settlements, that little-known central bank of the central bankers, warned that the world economy is as vulnerable now to major crisis as it was in 2007, with the added danger that the debt's even higher, over 16 trillion. As perhaps the biggest proof of how irrationally broken public markets are, European stocks have risen 15% in the last year, despite the growth being zero and expected earnings declining by 3%. Simon says, that's why I largely avoid putting my money in the stock market. I never put my money in the stock market. I prefer investments where I have a much greater control of the outcome, private businesses, real estate, etc. That said, sometimes great opportunities do present themselves in the public markets as well, thanks in large part to China's slowdown. Junior mining and exploration companies are one of the most degraded asset classes in the market right now. Case in point, exploration spending in Australia has declined 40% in the first quarter of 2014 compared to just a year earlier. And as many as 20% of the geologists in Australia have lost their jobs in the last few months. Well, if you live in Australia, you want to be banging on every geologist's door to show them a better opportunity, to go back to all those mining companies to show them how they can start using digital currencies to build their businesses. Companies are trimming down their exploration activities and focusing on extracting value out of their existing mines. Even some major mining companies are starting to search for profits elsewhere. Rio Tinto, that international concern, is one of the many large firms turning to agriculture, specifically selling cattle to the Chinese. Huge opportunity. Big farms in Australia, all available for sale. The whole industry has been hit to the point where some companies are being valued at less than the cash they have in the bank. Can you believe that? In other words, the market is valuing their assets, management expertise, land leases, exploration licenses, equipment at zero, while also giving a discount to their cash bank balance. This means investors can buy a dollar's worth of assets for just pennies. And it's entirely possible that one day, perhaps even very soon, the market will wake up and value these assets more favorably. Our chief investment strategist recently made some recommendations to our premium members for a small portfolio of junior miners trading for less than cash. Australia's KGL resources shot up by 66.7% in about 6 weeks. Another, Faringa Resources, rose 400% in a few months' time. Bear in mind, though, even when you buy a company for less than the cash it has in the bank, it's still possible to lose money. It's very hard, but still possible. There's no such thing as risk-free, no such thing as free profit. An investor always has to take risks. Well, again, looking at what we have to offer, the risk is so minimal using Zcash and chips, everybody should know about it. Thanks. That said, chasing a new all-time high is not the way to make money. Look for assets in industries that everyone hates, that people think you're crazy for even considering investing in, and find value in those. Coal mining, folks. Big opportunity in coal mining. Why? Because we have the way to clean up the coal. Mr. B told me that he's buying some new trucks to be able to process dirty coal, turn it into clean coke, a couple of different byproducts from the truck, and they'll be portable, and they'll go to these coal stations and convert it right on the spot. Amazing. So we're heavily invested into energy, as you're all aware of. I would suggest that you revisit the energy store protocols and see who in your neighborhood would like to hear more about it. Okay, so there we have our overview. And I'm back. All right. All right, so for the balance of our session, probably won't take a full hour, but I want to go to Financial Hope. And the section where you find this is obviously under employeegold.info. I'm sorry, Employee Gold YouTube on the sidebar. Where is it? Oops, I can step higher. Oh, I know why. I've got it open. Okay, so anyway, you've got the website showing here. We've got the presentation with Kenny and I. And then I've reordered this. We've got business plans. If you don't know how to make one, you got to have a business plan. We've got a new instruction sheet, which we're going to go over in just a moment. And we've got the application template, which is on another webinar, but I'm going to go over it here. Our member candidate info sheet just basically asks for all your address information, your phone numbers, your ICC number, etc. That has to be completed. And then we've got a new form that came from admin, and I'm going to go over a bit of that, but where the real detail will come in is when I have an individual interview with each and every one of you that wants to move forward with Employee Gold. Now, I really urge you, implore you to take advantage of Employee Gold. Costs you nothing. It gives you a lot more BVK. We've got several people that have followed Kenny's lead and setting up a business just to promote Employee Gold. Don has done, Steve has done that, and we've got a couple more processing to do that now. So get yourself together, figure out what you're going to do, and follow these instructions. So let's go ahead and bring up one of the instruction sheets. And so that will be this one. Okay, so again, if you're not seeing this, the document is on the website, and you can go there now and follow along with me. If you are seeing this, that's great. But the first thing that needs to be done as you're referring people to us is to set the appointment to review these instructions with me. I want to have a one-on-one encounter with every person that's going to become involved in Employee Gold. All right, so they hook up with Skype, to get onto Skype, my username is Financial Hope, which you guys all know, but be new people watching this. During this appointment, you will discuss your needs, what you're prepared to do for those benefits, along with reviewing any fees required for the completion of Employee Gold. Now remember, there is no cost to participate in Employee Gold, but there are potential fees for an ICC membership, fetus vouchers, and consulting fees, as we do not work for nothing. So that's all negotiated. So if you're actually working with us and supporting us, like Don and Steve and Kenny and the Australian gang, then obviously there's no consulting fees. And if there were, they would be made available through obviously the various protocols. As you receive funding, we would receive a portion of the funding. So that's how we're setting that up. All right, so step one is to obtain an ICC number. Now, if you have a sponsor place with silver memberships that you own, then you are going to be the sponsor. Otherwise, Brightstar will be the sponsor. And if you look at ucofc.info website, you'll see that you can get a place and 10 memberships if you're brand new. If you're a veteran and don't have it, you can contact me and say, Gary, here's what I'm prepared to do. I'm going to get on board and I'm going to set up my Employee Gold, and I'm going to go out there and sponsor people and bring businesses on board. And so we can work to get you 10 ICC memberships and a place. Now that's worth $200,000 plus another $10,000. So that's $210,000 value. All I have to do is commit, go to work, and get the job done. So step two is to create your business plan. If you don't know how, you're going to go to bplans.com and choose a template that fits your needs. Study the material, complete your plan. If you plan on using your existing business, because there'll be lots of businesses coming on board, I created ICC numbers for 2 of Eddie's new people yesterday, and so I'll be coaching them to do the Employee Gold. And they'll have to create their business plan as anybody would. If the existing business plan is available, then what you're going to need to do is add a new budget sheet outlining new hires, additional wages, benefits, increases, hiring bonuses, etc. And this is where I need to have the interview. I need to know, whether you're going to set up a separate business outside of your existing business, add this to it. All these things have to be discussed. And there's a little note there. It says see step number 9 below, which is obviously promoting ICC protocols. Step 3, discuss in your interview how you will advertise your products or services on the chips-corner.com site. Now this requires a place. Now formerly they were called showcase places or link to website places. Now they're called places, and you can do anything you want with a place. So if you don't have one, you can buy one, or you can negotiate to use someone else's place. If you have a website already created, you can link your website to the acquired place with a tagline outlining to the members what they will see when they go to your site. Now this is the thing that we have to go back to our 9 submitted Employee Gold candidates, and we have to actually get this information from you. So I'll be contacting each and every one of you regarding this, and this has to be done. Then step 4, discuss other business that you and or your firm would like to engage in so that that may be included in your business plan. Step 5, submit your completed business plan for review by me. After my review, I'll contact you to make any suggestions, corrections, or modifications that will allow your business plan and application to be approved. Now we've gotten 9 of them already set to go. We just missed 2 things. First of all, having the place and the tagline that will go on the place, and I'm going to show you where to find all that information, and we'll talk about that. And the second thing was the number, which we'll come to, and I'll show you that on the next document. Step 7, number 6. Once you've been approved, you'll be assigned a Brightstar Work Center Employee Gold number to be attached to your submission. That's what was missing. So it'll look like BSWC, EG, your initials, your company's initials, 001 for your first one. Okay, and so I thought it was the actual submission from the site where we're getting your actually Zcash amounts totaled. I thought it was that number. And they said, no, it's a number that you create as a work center. Well, it wasn't very clear, as you'll see. Anyway, step 7, Gary will then create the order, submit your business plan and application along with your employee gold order to admin for their review and approval. Negotiations of pre-agreed profit for functioning as a purchasing agent may be required at this point before approval. That was another little challenge that we had I guess a difference of opinion would be the safest way to say it. Anyway, I'll show you that in just a moment as well. Step 8, once approved, your ICC account will be funded with the negotiated Zcash amount. Step 9, promote the use of employee gold with any and all business contacts so that you may develop trading partners to use Zcash and chips. Really, that's what we want to do. You need to really internalize the hotel story, where they had the $300 and they just moved that same $300 around to 5 or 6 different businesses. And that's exactly what we can do with Zcash and chips. And that's exactly what's going to happen with eBay. Do you understand how powerful this is? We don't need US dollars. We don't need anything else other than digital currencies. And it's the wave of the future. No doubt about it. It's going to change the world. Step 10. Learn how to convert Zcash to USD bank deposit funds using real estate addendum 1 or 2 to facilitate the clearing of Zcash, or there's other options as well. You can do the energy store protocols, and there's a few other things that could be done. But Gary and Eddie are focusing on addendum 1 and 2 and focusing on the ability to bring big businesses into the employee goal. And when they do that, what you do is you negotiate with them and tell them, look, if you come on board and you've got a big business and you've got some real estate, my consulting fee will consist of 10% of whatever you have coming in. There's an example where there's an individual that has some BVK, wants to get the BVK turned into USD. Well, the deal I'm going to suggest is going to happen is a $1,000 membership, $5,000 for a fetus voucher, and then I'm going to get out of the $7 million of BVK to create the Zcash credit to do all this work. I'm going to take 10%, which is $700,000. And so if he gets on his first trade, $100,000, then I'm going to get $10,000. All right, until I'm up to that $7 million. So these things can be negotiated. You don't work for nothing. Well, maybe you do, but we can't. We've got to know that what we have is of great value, and we have to start charging for it. Okay, so there you have the basic instruction sheet that's now on the website. The next document I'm going to bring up is the employee goal registration. It too is on the website. Now this is just pulled off of the website, but you'll see numbers on the left-hand side. And so number 1, and these are basically the steps that we've outlined just now. If your firm is not already a member of the Internet Catalog Club, you must first have a center provide you with membership at no cost. Well, I don't like that. I'm charging $1,000, and when you get funding, then you'll pay me the $1,000. Okay? In some cases, I'm going to charge the $1,000 up front. Just because it says it's no cost there, go to another center. See if you can get another center to do what we can do for you. All right, after you have your membership, you may use the table below to arrange for Zcash self-liquidating credit to be used as a surrogate, by a surrogate, I should say, selected by the Anything Store to support the various employee goal programs. Well, obviously, nobody does anything with the website. It all comes through me. I do all that work. Okay, so Zcash is lawful USD currency. See digital currency, click for the important news updates, etc. And look at that update on eBay. Wow, powerful. Okay, number 2, this is for the confusion. In order for your order to be processed, your center must send an email, which I did, approving your request, and specify the order number that will be assigned to each order that you make at checkout. Well, that to me sounds like the number that was on the order at checkout. But they said, no, you got to create the number. So Obviously, it hasn't been reworded, but it's underlined, and I now know that I have to create the numbers, so it'll be, as I say, BSWCEG, your initials, and 001. That's how we'll do it. Okay, number 3, email from the center must also include a copy of your business plan, the business requirements related to the employee goals, so to qualify for the funding. Oops, went too far. What happened there? It's your responsibility to provide any information that may be requested by the center for the approval of your order. And what is going on? Why is it doing that? It's just jumping right over it. Okay. And number 4, it's also your responsibility to accept and shoulder all member responsibilities detailed in Zcash-USD in the commercial exchange kiosk. So you've got to be responsible for learning how to convert your Zcash to USD if that's what you want, or bring on a business that will do it because they've got the big cash pool availability through real estate. And that's a great way, and that's exactly what Eddie's doing. He's getting out there. He's got a big oil supplier he's going to be meeting with today. And so that's pretty exciting. All right, so if your order is approved, Zcash you request using the table below will be registered with your account in your membership number. All right, now, then we broke this down into 3 A, B, C, D. To participate in Employee Gold, a firm must undertake business that will be profitable to the firm and to Employee Gold supporters. All right, so 3B says to function as a purchasing agent for Fetus clients, providing items at cost plus a pre-agreed profit margin for the agent. Now, you have to decide what your cost is and what the profit margin is that you want. And then you'll submit it, and then the negotiation starts. And I said, well, that's an awful lot of work. Can't we just have a flat fee that their admin is prepared to work with? No, you've got to come up with a percentage. So I would suggest cost plus 10. All right, depending upon what it is, it might be lower, might be higher. But remember, if you're buying at retail, and you got to understand that I didn't fully grasp what they meant by all this, purchasing agent. But I said, I don't really have a business, and therefore I don't have a product or service to offer, although I'm thinking of doing a couple of different things that would allow us to do this. And Mr. B said that's not the issue. The issue is that if I came to the Dominican Republic to visit or to do business, I have no clue where anything is. So you would become my purchasing agent. I said, yeah, but what do you want to buy? And he said, well, first thing I'd need is probably a car rental. So you would go arrange the car rental for me because you know where the car rentals are. And so whatever that cost plus whatever you're going to charge me for arranging to get the car rental. I said, wow, that's pretty interesting. And he said, so gasoline stations. You know where all the gas stations are. You know where the grocery stores are. So you're going to be my gopher. And I'm going to pay you cost, whatever it costs you at retail or wholesale. Now, obviously, if you can buy it at wholesale, you don't charge me at retail. But 10% is maybe too low in a situation like that. But you've got to negotiate it, all right? You've got to put it in. It's not for me to say whatever you're going to put in. I'm going to just submit it, and then they'll come back and say it's too high, it's too low, and that's the way it's going to be, all right? Then to advertise Employee Gold by promoting Employee Gold registration to at least 2 other businesses. And so obviously you want to talk to all the business acquaintances that you have, that you do business with, and out of those there should be at least 2 that will join. And then advertise products and services the firm offers through the Zcash Locker and Chip's Corner. So you've got to have a place to do this. So if we go to the website here on the search, if you're looking for people to work with, I just plugged in the search engine in U.S. Professionales de El Salvador, and I just plugged in Bright Star Work Center, and then these are we have a bundle. Okay, that's the very top one, And so I got access to places, and so if you need a place to put stuff and you want to negotiate with me and Eddie, we can do so. Then Clara Nielsen, as you can see, she's in England, and she's cut a gazillion places. Australia, Freedom Rocks, there's Don, In Young Pack, Mike Stevens, Dorothy Martin, Lucio's Auto. Look at all these, Drew Williamson, Skyline, Steve Rose, there's his. You can see all of these people have places that you can come down here and say, gee, I've heard you talk about so-and-so on the website, webinar, Carpet Man, there's Bruce. So all of these people you can negotiate to put your stuff on their places if you don't have one. Okay? So just kind of go through this list, and if you want to deal with somebody else other than me, that's fine. If I charge too high or you don't like me, just say, Gary, can you get me in touch with the folks, Deborah Walker, can you get me in touch with Silva Wellness, all these people that are here. And I'll make that available to you. Okay? So that's all we need there. Now, what will happen is that you'll have a place that you'll be posting, and you'll post on there all the information of the products you're going to sell. Now you say, well, I got a lot of products I'm going to sell. In Bruce's case, he has all kinds of dips, chip dips and veggie dips and things like that. So he may have a website, so he can put his website and link it to the site. One of his, well, let's go down and see him because he's on the call today. Carpet Man, all right. So he's got all these management places here, and they don't have to be management anymore. It's just a place. So you can use all these for whatever you want. So he can put on this particular one, if we click on this link, it takes us there. Description of this project will be available shortly. If you're interested to provide procurement services, listing of procurement services, all these things are here, and so this will all change, and there'll be a basic overview, your contact information, the basic products. You could maybe, let's say he's got 15 different dips. Well, we could put the 15 dips in here, and he could easily fit that information in, phone number and email, and you can contact him through the site, and you can buy his products with Zcash and chips. So we go back to our instruction page, and oops, I'm sorry, this one. Under A, 3A, which admin said 3D1, prices quoted will be in Zcash and chips, but delivery may be delayed until these are exchanged through the commercial exchange kiosk in that site for the currency the firm wants to receive. So he can show his dips with Zcash and chips, that kinds of rhymes, and then ultimately you won't get your stuff until he converts it to the USD, because the supplier won't use Zcash and chips yet because he didn't ask. But maybe you'll find out that the supplier would say, yeah, I see what's going on with eBay, and I see the power of digital currencies, and I want to be a part of it. All right, now 3D2, which is B, places through which products and services may be advertised may be arranged with current owners of places or new places, which we've just discussed. So that's basically all the meat and potatoes that we need there. Now, this last part, businesses included may also be any other legitimate business that the firm wishes to present. So in this particular case, let's just say Bruce says, I'm going to have my chips and dips on display, and it just so happens that I've got a paid-for property, and I'm going to create my cash pool, and so I'm going to include that I want to do addendum 2, and I want to be able to turn my property into a cash cow. And so it will be sold to probably Mr. B. Mr. B will then turn around and let you buy it back with chips, and the title will never transfer, never change hands, and you'll just keep buying and selling it, and eventually you can set up your own company and do it all yourself once you figure it out. that is so super exciting. When Eddie went to this guy, he owns a furniture store, and he explained that he could turn this $180,000 property into a cash cow since he owned it fully outright. And he said, bring me the contracts and let's get going. So there are people out there. Now, that was a cold call, folks. And he just walked into this guy's business and said that so-and-so recommended that he talk to him, and sat down with this Dave guy, and Dave guy said, bring me the contracts. So that's what Eddie's doing today. Pretty darn exciting. Bird in the hand's worth 10 in the bush. All right, so that's done. I want to go over the application again. Now, company name, that's strange. All right. You'll erase all this information that's in yellow highlight and put your information in there. All right, so that's very important. And basically, you can change this. It's a Word document, and then you can turn it into a PDF after it's finished, after we know it's correct. But you'll put your contact information, your ICC number. You'll put in your company name. Now, if you don't have a company name, that's okay. You don't need one. You can just doing business as. You can do it. Gary Holmes hereby agrees to function as a purchasing agent. That's fine. You know, all this fervor about having to have a registered business and all this stuff is just a way to entrap you. Oh, well, Gary, they could sue you. Yeah, they could. But how many times does that happen? Well, it still could happen. All right. Yeah, that's how they sucker you in, because as soon as you set up a corporation, that corporation is owned by the state, not by you. So I know all this stuff. I've studied this for 10 years. And so that's why I'm just out there as Gary Douglas Holmes. Okay, providing items at cost plus pre-agreed profit. We already discussed that. Now, what you have to do in here is you're going to have to put in pre-agreed profit. My requirement is 10 over cost, 20 over cost, 50 over cost. I don't care what you want to put in there. Just put it in there, all right? And then they'll come back to say, it's too high, we'll give you this. And you'll say, no, that's not high enough. And anyway, that's what the negotiation process is all about. Okay, then if you have two companies that you're already going to be suggesting, the first one will go in here, and the second obviously will be done. Otherwise, promote until two are registered. That's fine. Then you're going to advertise through Zcash and chips on such and such a place owned by you or whoever you're going to do it. And then what you'll want to do is in your business plan, you'll want to put in your little tagline or link to your website, just telling you what you're going to do. And again, this is not something that you do without my guidance. That's why you have to contact me. We set up a personal appointment, and we go through it like we did the first 9. They were just unfortunately not as complete as I thought they were supposed to be. Okay, and then we'll place ads on places. Well, you don't have to have 7 places. It can be on such and such a place, and advertise what you're going to do. Then this square box section can be completely eliminated. In order to accomplish the registration and to be above, I will register several businesses with the ICC Club for the next several days until the second business sees the benefits and registers. So just a quick little outline here. Now, this isn't your business plan. This is the application. So I got to have a business plan, plus this is an application. Then again, square blocks here to further promote employee gold. Your company name will subcontract with some professionals and businesses acquiring ICC memberships of vendors to seriously look at the benefits of participating in employee gold. And my employees will be provided ICC memberships as well as training on the benefits of membership. So in this particular example, they're setting up a company to promote employee gold. Then you'll outline the total amount. This so happens that this example is $1 million. And so details to positions and employee costs from September through to August, so it's 1 year. Website designer, $90,000. And ICC protocols, 7 people at $52. An accountant for $75,000. You get a paycheck, whatever you think you want to be paid. Assistant, this particular example, the assistant was getting more than the CEO. Why? Because maybe they didn't know how to run the business, and the person that's going to be the assistant does. The headhunters out there can find you people that can do this, even if you can't. Hiring, performance, and other bonuses, 90,000. Employment taxes, benefits, estimates, 151. Health coverage, 72. Total $1 million. So then total wages and benefits, 2 million USD, 1 million in Zcash, your ICC number. Sign it. And again, if there's no two partners, then you just eliminate one. And remember, you have to submit your business plan outlining the details of your businesses that's either in place or to be built. Go here for assistance in building a business plan. So it's all there. These are the steps that you need to follow, and that pretty well sums up that section. And let me go back to here. We'll go to Google Hangouts and see where we're at. Let me just take a quick peek at employee goal here. So the member candidate we've covered, the employee goal registration we've covered, application template, and instructions. Okay, we've covered it all. So having said all that, if there are any questions, we could take a moment or two, and let me go and open up the Q&A chat section. Enable chat box, that's done. Chat public and private. Yvonne says, are you going to list all those forms and instructions in one place? Yes, they're already there. I showed you. Go to Financial Hope, look at the Employee Gold YouTube, and every document's there. And pages not shared. Okay, sorry, we're not seeing it. Well, anyway, very soon we'll go back to a system that we know works well. And any other questions or comments? I see no other questions or comments. So sorry about that you couldn't see all the pages, but you can go watch it, and the recording should have them all. So I'll get the recording up as soon as I possibly can. Might be 15, 20 minutes from now, might be a couple hours. YouTube is really strange in how fast they put it up. If it's a really busy day, things are slow. So thanks for being here, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you next week. I'm not going to do a Tuesday morning session. My wife is back to a job, just over broke. As a teacher, she's got to be there at 7, and we've got this new puppy. It's just too frantic, and there's not new information that really requires us to have 2 webinars a week. So we're just going to run Thursdays from this point forward. We look forward to seeing you next Thursday. If you wish to get yourself started with Employee Gold, please go ahead and Skype me, and we'll get an appointment set up and get you started. Great success. God bless you all. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.